Hey, what's up guys? Wanted to bring you an unboxing video today. If you watch my channel, you know I was doing a review. I picked this thing up and the S&W M&P 2.0 compact, the 4-inch barrel version. And I've been carrying it now for about 2 months. And as a die-hard Glock guy, I actually really like this gun. It's got a really great grip in it. Keep the light on there. The safety I like because I used to carry a 1911 for actually quite a while. So I'm used to a good position thumb safety. It's kind of just personal preference. Some guys hate them, some guys don't mind them. I don't mind them, especially one that's done right, where I can basically rest my thumb on it when I pull out of the holster and ride a high thumbs grip on it. I upgraded it with Apex trigger. I had a little issues with that. I'll probably do a separate video on the Apex and what issues I did have. I was getting light primer strikes. But if you're watching this, what did fix it was actually taking out the Apex plunger that's in here, or the striker block, and went back to the factory one. That fixed the issues. So if you're having light primer strikes, check that out. The radius on it looked like it just maybe the stack tolerances weren't quite right in this pistol, and I was getting light primer strikes. So anyways, carrying this thing, I went with the TLR7 just to try it out. I'm still on the fence about the light itself. It puts out a good light output. For its size, it's great. I just don't like the activation, the way the buttons are. You can't really feel them. They don't feel like a button. They just feel like just kind of like a wall almost. It just has a weird sensation when you push it. And the way, short turns it on, long is momentary. Just like I said, prefer a TLR1 more, but it is a nice compact size. So I'll get some more time on that, and maybe my opinions will change on it. And I've been carrying it in the Burleyman Tactical holster, which fits awesome. This thing carries great. Like I said, I was impressed with this gun, and from a die-hard Glock guy like myself, that's kind of saying something as far as something other than a Glock. So this thing's going to go out here pretty quick and have the slide cut. Probably going to sit at the primary machine. I'm going to do the rear RMR and do a Glock dovetail in front of the RMR as a backup. And so when this was going out, I was like, well, I should pick another one of these up to have or whatever, as far as not being without this gun for a while. So I'll do an unboxing for you guys today. I did go with another one, but not the same gun. So what I went with, M&P. I couldn't get the LE version like I got in this model for some reason. The local dealer that had them, for some reason that SKU they couldn't get. So this is just the standard 2 mag. That one came with night sights and 3 mags. This one just came with standard sights and 2 magazines. So what you get in the box is a bunch of safety paperwork for the lawyers and all that kind of good stuff. But you get 3 different size backstraps plus 1 on the gun, so 4 total. You get 2 15-round magazines, and then 2 spacers for running the 17-round full-size magazines in there or whatever. So they give you a lock and some paperwork and some other boring stuff that we've all seen before. And so the gun itself, I haven't shot this gun. This thing is, like I said, it's brand new. Just picked it up, and it's clear. And this is the 3.6 version, which is just the little bit shorter barrel instead of the 4-inch. It's obviously 0.4 inches shorter barrel, and kind of wanted to go, instead of buying the exact same gun, try something a little different. Not much difference in it, but that's what I went with. As you can see, compared to the 4-inch version, obviously the barrel's a little shorter. That's what the whole point of the model is, and everything else is the same as far as grip, height, grip texture. Everything from basically that point back is the exact same gun. You're just losing a little bit of barrel. So I want to compare this one still had the factory trigger in it. I went with the Apex in the other model, and like I said, I was getting the light primer strikes, but after I solved that issue, that trigger is amazing. And this trigger is not bad, like I covered in the original video on that gun. It's not a bad trigger if it would just start its pull instead of having so much slack and starting the pull here and then braking and then resetting. Everything's good on it as far as how the trigger works. It just works too far back for how I like it. When I'm in a grip, it's kind of weird that I have a tendency to want to put too much finger into the trigger because it's so far back, and then it actually wants to drag on my support hand. So it's basically me. It's me not putting the trigger in the right, my finger in the right spot. But just because it's so far back, it just has a tendency to want to, go in there too far. So the apex starts a whole lot farther out and has a lot less trigger travel. So this one here is, like I said, it actually take up the slack and you start there and it has almost no movement until it goes off. And the reset, is good, nice and positive and really, really short. And it goes right back to the wall. So definitely an awesome upgrade. Not 100% needed, just more of a preference. Like I say, as a Glock shooter, I'm used to my finger being a little farther out on the gun. And I got the Apex kit here to install in the new gun. But I'm going to put some rounds to the factory trigger because I didn't put a whole lot through this one with the factory trigger. I maybe did, I know it was less than 100, but I probably got about 550 through this gun now. And it's, like I said, it's impressed me as far as being a Glock guy. Really like the trigger. With the trigger change, I like the safety on there because I appendix carry. And with how short that is, it's not a light trigger, it's just a really short travel. So I like that kind of added safety on there, appendix carrying. So you don't get something caught in there, your jacket cord or something or whatever piece of clothing. But like I said, I'm used to a safety and I don't mind it. If, like I said, if you don't like them, you can just literally take these out and put two little plugs in there. And the same gun can be safety or non-safety. So that's kind of a cool feature. Comparing size-wise, I compared the Glock to this. It's almost identical to the 4-inch. This is a Glock Gen 4 here, and this is the 3.6. So you can see if you back them up, butt to butt, slide to slide, right about there. You're a little bit shorter barrel-wise than a Glock 19 as far as overall. Obviously, your 3.6-inch barrel to a 4-inch barrel. And then grip-wise, you're pretty similar, especially once you stick a magazine in the Glock and it sticks down. I have a hard time lining these up, but they're pretty close. I mean, it's splitting hairs. It may be, a tenth of an inch or something one way or another, but I mean, it's literally splitting hairs at that point. I like the grip angle of the M&P, and if you're learning or want to learn an RMR, this is a Gen 5. This is how I'm going to send out and have the M&P cut with the rear sight in front of the RMR as a backup, so it's kind of less distracting. It's not what you want to pick up, and I found this to be a little better in front of the RMR. So if you're looking to start on an RMR platform, I'd highly recommend the M&P. It's harder to get done. Not as many people do it as a Glock. You can't buy pre-done slides like you can a Glock, so it's more effort to get it done. But the grip angle, which was never an issue for me. I mean, I heard people talk about it all the time, people bragging about grip angles on Glocks. And it really doesn't come to play until you have an RMR. At least it never did for me. Because I could track the front sight on my draw stroke. I could push it out, find that front sight, and it would be at the right angle by the time I got leveled out. Well, with an RMR, you're not looking at your front sight. You're looking at your target. And then you're trying to find the dot to basically appear without changing your focus anywhere. And it takes a while on a Glock because when you push out where your hands feel flat, your actually Glock's sitting tilted up. And then you have to kind of learn that last little kind of kick down to get that gun flat without looking at it. So it's a learning curve. So guys with Glocks and do RMRs, and you either stick to it and you got to put 1,000 rounds through it, 1,000 draw strokes, and really kind of, I don't want to say master it, but really get used to it, get that muscle memory down, or you put 100 rounds to it and you hate it and you end up selling it. So you see a lot of Glock slides for sale with RMRs on them because people just don't want to dedicate the time. They got it and they just didn't work out like they thought it would. And that was more, they just didn't put the time in. So it takes a lot of time, guys. But I had an HK done, and it has the same grip angle as the M&P. Excuse me. And a 1911, so it's more natural. And with my VP9, I can almost hand it to anybody. They can pick it up and find the dot pretty much first presentation. It's at least somewhere in the screen. So with the M&P, I think it's going to be the same way, just because the grip angle is that more natural, I forget the degree now, 18 degree or whatever it is. Like a 1911. So good platform to RMR, just a harder platform because like I said, it's not as much offered, not as many people offer the service, and you're going to pay a little more to get the machine work done, change the sights, all that kind of stuff. So this one will eventually have a Glock dovetail, which would be a cheaper sight, and then suppressor front Smith sight, which would be more expensive. So to compare size-wise, this is a Glock Gen 4 Glock 26, clear, to the M&P. you take, I got the little dovetail thing on this. If you take it there, trying to even it up, slide to slide, you're pretty close to a 26. You may be a 1/10 of an inch or so off, maybe, not very much. And then grip-wise, obviously, you're going to be longer because this is almost it is a 19 grip size length. So you're not gaining anything as far as concealability on the grip on this particular gun. But something a little different. Appendix carrying, if you get one that's a holster size for that, you're going to save that 1/2 inch that's straight down. Appendix, I don't really have a problem concealing a grip of a 19. Every once in a while, even a 17 if I'm wearing the right clothing, t-shirt, sweater, whatever. So it's not as critical as say a 4 o'clock position with that grip length. So I shouldn't have any problem, or I don't with the other one. So the same grip, and I'll get a little more room on the end as far as down in your pants appendix carrying. So we'll see how this gun shakes out. I have pretty high hopes of it. The other one's been great. I'm sure this will be the same. And like I said, we'll do an update on the 2.0 here later on. We'll do a video when I get to about 800 or 900 rounds, getting the specifics of the Apex, what went wrong, what I changed, all that kind of stuff, how the Burleyman tactical holster's working out, and what my probably final thoughts are on that TLR7. So I just wanted to bring you an update before I shot it. That's the 3.6, and like I said, you see it compared. It's just obviously 0.4 of an inch shorter, and everything else is the same. And then I'll have after I put about 100 rounds or so through this factory trigger, I'll go over the Apex, but I won't do the upper slide striker block plunger in that thing, and see if I can not have the light primer strikes like I had before. So anyways, guys, I haven't brought you any content lately. Been really busy hunting. Hunting season's kind of winding down. Got bear and turkey going on right now, so still been kind of doing that, but I don't put as much time in bear and turkey as I do deer. So I'll have some videos hopefully coming soon of the new range. Range is all done out here. I got to break it in the other day. Shot some AR stuff at 100 yards, and I'm going to do some little more load development on my deer rifle, and hopefully bring you guys some of that to show you it's coming along out here. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.